there's a few people that didn't get to join, and I'm gonna hop right in because we've got like an hour full of stuff that content that we're gonna get to. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about this day in particular really quickly, and then we're going to get to some of the cool nuggets of my Heart Alchemy course, because I just really got the strong nudge for all of us to understand, like, formally some of the science. We're going to do some practices, and we're going to, hopefully it'll be recorded, and we're going to go a little bit quickly so that we can get it in an hour, but hopefully we will all have a wonderful experience together and have this to come back to. So March 3rd, it's interesting. I want to first of all say, this is a very special day. We'll talk about some of the energies on this day, but also, the Aztecs and the Egyptians and the Mayans, everybody who kept a calendar in ancient civilizations, I started working with the Aztec calendar. Every single day had a significance. And, for us, I think we like to gather around there. And there were certain big holidays and things like that, but every day is a significant day. And I found myself really feeling like we wanted to gather. And it's too early for an equinox or a solstice. And so anyway, this is a very special day. And also I want to invite us to think about how every day is a really special day. It's that idea of Valentine's Day, and telling people that you love them is a wonderful holiday. And also we can do it every day of the year. So March 3rd, I want to talk about the astrology, and then I'll get into the numerology. So we have Venus sextile Uranus. Venus is in Pisces and Uranus is in Taurus. And I think this is really cool because, every sign has its shadow side and its bright side. And what's seeming to happen with these planets is that the planets are teaming up with this sign to help heal the shadow side. And I'll get to what I'm talking about in a second. And just out the gates, a sextile is a very positive aspect. It means it's opportunity, it's attraction, it's flowering, it's harmonious things between the two energies. So, on one hand, we have this Venus in Pisces energy. And so Pisces is feminine, mutable water. It tends to be an introverted sign. It's a sign that really intuitively feels and then kind of moves automatically at its weakest points, maybe even a little too quickly, to go solve that problem when there's an emotional, when we can feel emotional disharmony. So Pisces is very sensitive to the emotions of others. Venus, Lady Venus, is, the planet of beauty and love and the planet of give and take. And she's got this goddess power about her. So you can kind of sense that when Pisces meets Venusian energy, it can be the bright aspect of Pisces can really come out, which is our intuition and our sensitivities to others are so relevant. But Venus kind of has this goddess wisdom about her where she keeps her power and she does tune into and help harmonize. And so that's one thing that we have in the sextile. And then we also have, Uranus in Taurus. And so Taurus is fixed earth. Taurus is very sensual. Taurus is steadfast. Taurus likes its creature comforts. Taurus resists change. Taurus does not like big change. Uranus is the planet of fast change, literally. And Uranus is this, this innovation, this fast forward. And I talk a lot about that. That's a big theme that we're in right now. But Uranus is meeting Taurus so that it can help Taurus in when it digs its heels in a little bit, like, oh no, I don't want to change. That's kind of what we're feeling in our world is status quo or big shift. And so Uranus meeting Taurus is helping Taurus to see, like, oh, maybe I can let go a little bit, and we don't have to. And also we're going through revolutionary change, but we also are doing it ourselves. So it's going to happen at just the right time. And Taurus gets to feel that it's not going to happen too fast. So we have these opportunities for creative breakthroughs. This is kind of what came through about today. And the breakthroughs might be kind of what I've mentioned, is that the energies are already here for us. It's really a matter of trusting and allowing. And, one of the messages is just keeping existing, keeping going. And that gets us back to the wisdom of why March 3rd, as I was saying, well, because March 3rd is the same day as any other day, but also because, well, today is a beautiful day for us to entertain how we can have our own creative breakthroughs. And this gets me to the numerology for today. So the number 3 is abundance, creativity, joyful. It's this big, blossom of spring type of a number. But the numbers, when you add all the numbers up, 3 plus 3 plus 20, 21, we get 11. And 11 is like a master spiritual number. It's a number of, magic. And in some different circles, it's a high priestess number. So this day is simultaneously super subtle because it's noon on Wednesday, and it's not an equinox, and it's not a solstice. And that's kind of the point, I think, which gets me to the whole theme that came through is the power of the vibration of love, the power of our hearts, the power of us really stepping into ourselves as high technology beings. And I want to start with a couple. I teach this heart alchemy course online, and we're going to kind of run through the 3 or 4 big bang points all in this one show. And it's not going to be deep dive, but I hope it'll give us a sense. So it's fun to kind of start out with our minds, like, we're spiritual people, but we like some science sometimes. It just helps the mind to relax. So I want to start out with some scientifically documented, quote unquote, studies and information and ideas. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a graph, an image of, there's a group of people who, they started doing this in the 80s. They would gather, and it was transcendental meditation people, but what they were really doing is what we're going to be doing today, which is coherence, breathing, connecting to our heart. And they lowered the crime rates in many different cities, Liverpool, Washington, D.C. They did stuff in Syria, and it was really kind of under the idea of this high science, pseudoscience, some would call it, but actually the technology is us sending this energy. So I want to show this graph real quick to just kind of show what's possible for us gathered here today and what's possible for us in general. So this graph shows 8 weeks along the bottom of people gathering to send love to Washington, D.C. So you can see that the group size start over on the left is from 0 to 4,000 people, and over time, the crime rates. So if you look at how the green line is the number of people who gathered over 8 weeks. So they got almost up to 4,000 people by the end of the 8th week. And then the golden line is the crime rate of percent change in homicides and assaults and all sorts of stuff. So you just the numbers speak for themselves. When people were gathering over the course of 8 weeks, they actually impacted the crime rate of Washington, D.C. by 25%, which I think is really cool. And actually it was shown that when they stopped doing this, the crime rate actually went back up, which isn't the punchline, but I think it's really interesting for us to entertain that we intuitively know we can send energy. Religions, teach us that as well. When we, people send prayer energy, and we're going to learn that even the act of where the palms are placed when you're going into prayer, you're touching your heart, you're activating your heart. The other thing I want to share real quick is the research that's done by Masaru Emoto. You guys, if you've read one of my books, I talk about how he took pictures of water, and he did everything from take pictures of pure water to polluted water. He played water songs. He showed water images. So here we have a water crystal that's taken an image after it's been shown the words love and gratitude. And then on the other side, it's you disgust me. And so you can see how nature actually does respond to energy. It's not, again, it's so not 3D world, but it's so right here in our 3D world. So we're going to be focusing on this love and gratitude, this beautiful snowflake aspect. And I just wanted to share those two things out the gates, because I think it's so important for us now to move beyond our fears and to know how powerful we are, and to really, Abraham Hicks teaches us to really continually, always, every day, harness our consciousness. If it doesn't make us feel good, shift it as soon as we can, you know. So we're going to talk about coherence. And in my heart alchemy class, there's a couple different institutes that speak about what coherence means. I'm going to start first by giving a little bit of background on coherence. Essentially means that our whole system, our heart, our brain, all of our systems fall into this beautiful harmonious state. And the punchline I'll just tell you now is that when we are actually focused and able to send signals and we're not firing all over the place, we're really powerful beings. We're going to start by just looking at what heart rate variability is. So a lot of us have been taught to say, you know, our heart beats at a very regular rate. Well, actually, our hearts don't, and that's a good thing because it helps us with things like resilience. So here you can see, this is just somebody's heartbeat, and you can see that the time in between every heartbeat, the numbers that are circled are 828, 845, 754, 742. That's a variable heart rate. So we naturally have something called heart rate variability, and it's something that we is a good thing. But also it's nice that what we're going to get when we come into coherence, I'll show you next, is that everything falls into harmony. So this is a visual. I think this came from the HeartMath Institute. I'm not sure. There's 4 or 5 places out there that do stuff like this. So, so you've got the heart rate. Let's look at the top of the graph. Heart rate, pulse rate, breathing rate. And you can see how what's happening is what we're going to do. We're going to do this practice. There's a moment in time, right about 300 seconds, where everything falls into what they call coherence, which really coherence just means it's everything's able to connect and communicate with itself. And it does this rhythmic thing. And you can think about yourself now. It's what the moment that you can come into that alignment, that harmonious state, that's powerful. So that's what we're going to be entertaining that we're doing. And like I said at the start, I'm moving a little bit quick because I want us to have some experience, but I also wanted to give some good background. This is going to be recorded. It's going to be put up on YouTube for everybody. You're all on mute. Do you need to unmute yourself? Oh, let's see. What's going on? Okay. Geez. Okay, I'm trying to teach and be efficient, and now I'm going to also put my hat on and make sure everyone says it's all we're all good with sound. Okay. Back to coherence. Okay, so what I want to play for us next is, let's see if there's any couple more slides here. So there's something else that we're going to just gloss over. The heart has neurons. The heart actually thinks independently of the brain. And there's been research that shows that when information comes in, contrary to what we've been taught, our big brains are the thing that do the work. It's our heart that sends information to our brain, and then our brain responds, which I think is really cool. So just a quick little image to help us come to see what we're, so they communicate to each other, but this is a little too big. Sorry if it's blurry. Let me make it smaller. I think that goes across to you guys, but they communicate to each other. So we're going to, just like that graph showed, everything's going to fall into sync all at the same time. And the only thing that it really takes is our practice and intention to feel these things and to shift these things. And the state of coherence that we're going to get to in just a moment, we're going to do a practice, has lots of benefits. We're not doing this because we're trying to win the lottery, but kind of like energy healing, when you step into this space of being an energetic conduit, guess who gets all the energetic benefits of being a conduit? The conduit receives the energy. So, there's all these benefits to the this practice of coherence that they've documented. This was, I think this was a group of police officers who were in really stressful jobs, and they were taught this coherence technique. And their cholesterol, their glucose, their blood pressure, their heart rate, look at all the things that improved in their bodies. That's not new news. We know that meditation helps many, many, many things. But also here it is, our brains get to be like, okay, great. Even if I'm not really sure about, as one of my former farmers market friends, she called me the woo-woo person. And I was like, okay, I'll be the woo-woo person. Even if, part of us is like, is this really real? We can be like, oh, here's a little bit of evidence that when our brains have something to chew on, as I like to say, it helps. It just gets the brain out of the way. And then we get to work with this beautiful thing that is our heart. So there's just a couple steps. This is a super simple practice. I teach it in the Heart Alchemy course over the course of 3 weeks. There's lots of practices, but the beautiful thing is we can do it right now. It's not rocket science. So we're going to do this together, and then we're going to do another practice or two if we have time. So the first thing to do is just to you can close your eyes, or if it helps you to look at me, I'm probably going to be looking down just because I'm going to be doing this as we're talking. So you're going to go inward. You're going to kind of imagine that all the sensors that are looking out into the world are just going to kind of turn in. And you can imagine that just whatever's static out in the world is just falling away, and you're going to find your breath. And first, just see if you can deepen your breath a little bit. We often breathe much more short breath than naturally we're meant to. The most important thing is that as you seek to breathe deeply, that you do so comfortably. So if you can get to inhale to a count of 5 and exhale to a count of 5, wonderful. If that's not comfortable, make it shorter. And breathe however you feel like you want to breathe. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. So this connecting to ourselves and our breath. And as we inhale to the count of 5, or for however long is comfortable, comfortable is key. Exhale for the count of 5. Already feel the shift. Feel how you're kind of naturally just dropping into a comfortable space. So inhaling and exhaling. And there's no necessarily magic number for a practice like this. Research has shown you're going to want to do it for a few minutes to really be able to get to this coherent state. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. So we're going to breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 5, just a few more times. I'm going to stop talking and just let you count. All right, so that first step is just simply turning in, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5, but make sure it's comfortable versus needing to have 5 counts. Now what we're going to do is we're going to touch our heart, the heart center. So where the physical heart is, right at the center of your chest, you can place your fingertips there. You can place your palm there. As I mentioned, in some religious traditions, the act of placing hands in prayer and leaning the thumbs against the chest also activates the heart. So however feels comfortable for you, I like to just gently place my fingertips over my heart center, and our attention goes where we're touching. So this is just signaling that we're connecting to our heart. So we're still just inhaling to a count of 5, easy breath, exhaling to a count of 5, and now we're connecting to this heart center. And imagine that you're breathing through your heart. So the energy flows forward, out in a conical shape out the front of the body, and backward out the back of the heart. And so you can imagine you're inhaling and exhaling to the count of 5 through this heart center of yours, and you're just placing your palm or your fingertips right at the point of your chest. And next, This is your conscious choice to choose a high vibrational emotion. Among those could be gratitude, love, appreciation, peace, joy, harmony. And as we do this, there can often be a welling feeling. Our heart is so sort of latent and just wanting to show us how much joy there is. So see if you can just feel an emotion while you're breathing through your heart, breathing through your lungs and breathing through your heart. That equal count, 5 and 5. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5. And then just you choose the emotion. And feel it present. So there's part of me, whenever I get to this space, I kind of just want to linger forever. It's almost like a homecoming where we've been disconnected for so long. And when we come into this space, oh, it feels so good. And by this point, you've likely achieved what that graph showed, that state of coherence. So you can stay here for as long as you like. We're going to do that again. So you can keep your eyes closed. I'm going to just sort of gently transition to talking a little bit more. The idea here with this practice is that just like any kind of a new skill, it might take a little bit more at the start. Once we get to that space of having it be natural, we can drop in here anytime. This is our home. This is our space. So we're going to shift a little bit to sending this feeling that we have right here, this feeling that we're choosing to cultivate. I was going to share a video from the course, but I'm going to sit with it just for a second and see if that's necessary. I want us to at least start to consider that we are broadcasting beings. And just like sending prayer, sending love, we send electric and magnetic fields. Yeah, I'm going to skip the video and just tell you guys just the gist of it. So our heart and our brain send both electric and magnetic fields. The magnetic field is what's super powerful. It's what makes our cell phones get reception in an elevator, but we send both. And our heart is, depending on whether you're measuring the electric or the magnetic, don't quote me on this because I didn't prepare the numbers, but it's between 100 and 1,000 times stronger than our brain. So we have this field that science has measured that emanates from our heart, electric and magnetic energy. And what we're doing right here is we kind of hold this state of coherence as we're harnessing that power. So already the space around you is positively affected by this state that you're holding. This energetic, emotional, psychological, everything's all connected here. So it's just this state. And when we think about our purpose this year, this life, the changes we really want to accomplish for ourselves and give to others, we're going to consider sending energy to others. Just like when I started our gathering, I put up that graph of the crime rates in Washington, D.C. Just notice what's there for you right now. If there's a person, a group of people, a place where you want to send energy, love, joy, gratitude, healing, whatever concoction is coming to you. So time and space are constructs that aren't necessarily real. We can send this energy anywhere on the planet, anywhere off the planet. So what we're going to do next is we're going to kind of close your eyes again, come back into this state, come back into this 5 breaths inhale, 5 breaths exhale. Put your hand on your heart. potentially the most powerful aspect of our human anatomy. And if there's someone, someplace, something, or if you just want to send the vibration that you want to send, let your heart be this transformer of sorts, antenna, whatever the word is, that's just going to create this sensation that you're feeling and send it out to where you want to send it. And imagine, you can imagine and visualize that person, that place. One of the principles of energy healing that I teach is free will. So, just as no one can harm us, no one can give us good energy unless we choose to accept it. We're sovereign beings. So, you can imagine that this place, this person, this group has the choice to receive this energy you're sending. If for some reason they don't want it, there's plenty of people and beings right around them that are going to benefit from this. So imagine this energy being sent from your heart across the country, around the world, to your pet that's sitting right next to you. Time and space are just constructs. The power is in your heart. Okay. So then, your choice. You can just kind of keep your eyes closed and linger in this space. I'm going to bring us back a little bit to the why of this right now. March this year is set to be a really transformational month. But it takes personal free will conscious choice. We are sovereign beings. So this month, it's not heavy lifting, it's not hard work. It's just simply a choice. That choice is why I think I was guided to have myself and all of us get together to, if we could spend this month engaging in this practice whenever we felt called to do so. And if over time there are thousands of people doing it, that's pretty powerful. That's part of the theme of March. March in general is we're getting a sense of purpose as we're here. We've been through some challenging times, but we really know who we are, we know how we are, we know what matters. We're not blindsided. We're connected. We're ready. And there's also this energy of sort of liberation and motivation, because for a little bit of time last year, there was just a lot of confusion and wobble. And now we're here. We're healthy, we're happy, we're sovereign, we're motivated. And we're harnessing the vibration. So it's almost as if there was like some stuck energy, because we've been wanting to go for a long time. I think, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel in the collective, if there was something that could have been done, people were going to do it. And now it's kind of like, oh, this is the subtle thing to do. It's subtle, but it's not subtle. It affects places positively and people positively. And so it's this kind of call to action. And actually, there's just a theme of the power of our hearts this month in March. So I didn't even realize that was really a theme. The heart alchemy, and just really quickly in a nutshell, teaching you guys the best nuggets of that course here to right now, was what was so clear. But then the other tenet of the heart alchemy, and just like energy healing, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be really good to ourselves. We need to get a lot of sleep. We need to eat good food. We need to tell ourselves positive things, because just like energy healing, or anything. The light is only as bright as the window that it shines through. So we really get to put ourselves first in a way that is not selfish, in a way that is so that we can serve and heal and co-create. And there's no guilt in serving self. That's such the stuff that's, I just get chills when I think about with the potential for transformation this month. So that is, that's in a nutshell what I wanted to share with you. And it's funny, I had these videos from my energy healing course lined up to share with you, and for some reason I think I'm encapsulating the energy, and so I thought it was going to take an hour. And whenever I used to teach high school, and I'd have this tendency to like get through stuff really quickly, so we'll have extra time, but I like to be efficient. So I'm going to be efficient and tell you that this is the stuff that the avatars learned. You know, Jesus and Buddha and avatars are just all the same, all the people that walk the planet that became ascended masters. You know, when Jesus, there's relatively recently, they claim to have found a lot of the lost texts of the Bible somewhere in Egypt. And there's interesting, I'll try to put the words in the notes for the YouTube, but when they were re-quoting Jesus as to, like if some of the things that we read, which is, you know, receive the light or something, like he would say, like, visualize yourself surrounded by that which you seek, and then command it to be so. And when you think about that, he was speaking to our transformational power. And a lot of the things that he did when he walked on water, when he laid hands on people, he gave them the choice to believe or not to believe. And Milarepa, I don't know if you guys can know Milarepa is. He was a guy who, there's a Milarepa's cave up in Tibet. I'm going to get back to my point in a second, but this is another good example. He was this guy who was super rich, as the story goes. He lost all his money. He got really angry. He killed a bunch of people, and then he felt really guilty. So he went to live in a cave in the mountains where there was no food. He became this sage person, and people would come to seek him out. And I guess the story goes that the only thing up there was nettles. And so his skin got a little green and his teeth got a little green, and he was a little bit of a crazy looking guy, but he had this he would take people into this low cave, and you can go there, and there's pictures on the internet of this stuff. And he would say, I'm going to put my hand on this rock. And he said, you know, we've been taught to think that we and the rock are separate, but look what I'm going to do. I'm going to push my hand into the rock. And there's places where this guy has pushed his hand into the rock up into his elbow. And it was this kind of demonstration of sorts. And kind of like what Jesus was doing was this leap of faith is what a lot of the avatars, I think, were helping us regular humans, quote unquote, to get out of our minds, to get out of what we think the constructs of what truth even is. That's the potential that's waiting for us right now. You know, it came through in a podcast that at one point that we can't even really need to know the answer, because our consciousness isn't ready to understand how beautiful the future is. We're clearing out all the gunk. So this power of our heart is one of those leaps of faith where, you know, maybe not everybody believes that. What matters is what we ourselves believe, and how we spend our time, and how we vibrate. It's just that powerful. And I don't know if you can feel that shift of all of us gathering here now, of the practice that we just did, and of the notion that that's going to expand. I'm 200% sure the world needs this stuff so much, and we're kind of craving it. It's like a malnourished kid. When they get their hands on good food, it's like, oh man, I've been missing this. This is this thing that's nourishing my soul. So that is, without all the videos that I was going to show you, that is my offering for today, for March 3rd. And I don't know if anybody has anything they want to share, or if we could do another practice. I'm happy to, if anybody wants to type in any themes, we're all here. We could do, I think that's how we'll close. Let's imagine that there are people right now, everybody who's on this video, and then when this video goes to YouTube and however else it gets shared, global web of healers. We are healers because we're humans and we want to heal. Where do we want to send that energy? You could share it, you could write it in, or you could just know it. But I think it'd be nice for us to imagine that we're adding to this web of light, this web of grace is what's coming through. The word grace is coming through because it's kind of noble in a very humble way to be saying, I want to send healing to the world because I'm coming to understand. I'm chipping at the tip of the iceberg, but I think I really am able to start to believe how powerful I am. So, places at war, yes. And I love that, for our doubting minds, we can go back to this has already been documented. It's not surprising. Or maybe it's, a sick family member. Maybe it's a place that you just want to see expand. So let's do that. Let's do this together. Let's practice one more time because this is the meat of what I wanted to present. So turn inward, close your eyes. And imagine that all the static is falling away and there's just you and your energetic field. And with your eyes closed, as you go in, you're connecting to your breath. You're connecting to your physical lungs that are breathing. Find that inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Just place your fingertips of your palm or your palms of prayer at the center of your chest, right where your heart is, on your heart center, just to activate it, to keep send the awareness there. And imagine now that you're breathing through your heart. You're breathing in energy and air, and you're breathing out. So our physical body is breathing, our heart is energetically breathing. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Count to 5 if you can, but most importantly, make it comfortable. And this will get more and more comfortable as we practice it. And now activate the feeling you want to send. Peace, safety. Safety's a little low. Peace, abundance, love, harmony. High vibration, emotion, intention. Activate that within yourself. Feel it. Conscious choice just to feel it. And when you feel like you're just welling, your cup is overflowing with this emotion, send it. Anywhere and everywhere, a specific place, a specific person, a theme. And just imagine the light from this vibration that's coming from your heart, traveling and cleansing and uplifting. Actually, it's harmonizing, it's tuning that other person, that other place. And that's actually what energy healing is. It's just offering the light and the energy that's a higher vibration so that when people are ready to receive healing, places are ready to receive healing, they can sync up to that higher vibration that you're sending. So just inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Connecting to your heart, breathing through your heart, feeling that emotion and sending it with your heart. And you might notice again how you could stay here almost all day. I'm going to just slowly invite us to maybe take about 5 or 6 more breaths and prepare to come back to our gathering. And the idea is that this practice becomes so comfortable and natural and ubiquitous that, much like the avatars and ascended masters, they just vibrated like that all the time. And that is a really cool potential goal to have. That every single vibration that we send out as an offering to all of life, all of the energetic world, is this conscious choice of how we're vibrating. Wow, I'm so grateful for everybody who was able to make it live. Really nice gathering of people. And I'm grateful for all of you, and take a second to be grateful for yourself for choosing to hop into this gathering. And everything we send, we receive. So feeling blessed, hopefully. Blessed and balanced and abundant. Does anybody have any comments or anything they'd like to share? Grateful for this time together, Jana says. Yes, me too. I will post this. It's going to take me a couple days to get it all together, but this is going to be something that you can share or watch, or everybody. So lovely. Thank you, says Elizabeth. Natalie says thank you. Lucia says ditto. Peace. Amen. Vanessa says that was fantastic. Oh, you guys are great. Cool. It's just that simple. Everything simple is profound. We have everything we need. And I love that, sometimes I say that, and then now I think we're all getting to be like, me too. I'm like, it's real. It's really true. It's totally true. The evidence is coming into we're pulling it from the 5D into the 3D. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful March 3rd, March 4th, March 5th, all the days in March. And I look forward to seeing everybody again. Yes. Carol says, grateful for this break to revive. Alice says, I was imagining a barren land being watered and grass growing with all these vegetable gardens to nourish each other. Erin says, wonderful. Thank you. Yes. Spread the good vibes, guys. This is so great. All right. It's 12:45. I think we're good. I will look forward to seeing you all again soon. Tons of love.